All right. A while back, I decided to show some of my Wyvern decks on my channel. Just made some videos showing the decks just to do it for fun. I thought it might generate some interest. It basically generated no interest at all. So I finally just stopped doing it. And then recently, go figure, 2 people, I think, have subscribed to my channel because they saw videos of my Wyvern decks and liked them. And even commented, left me and messaged me. So I thought, since I had made this deck around that time, I had just assembled this deck, I thought, you know what, why don't I make a video showing it? I've made a scout deck. It's in there. You can look at my scout deck. All the Wyvern decks are in a playlist. I decided to make a second scout deck. Tried to take a little bit of a different take on it. Not that much different. And I'm not really sure which deck is better. So you let me know. But there are 10 scouts in this deck, and then 10 other cards, 5 terrains and 5 other dragons. So I'm just going to go through it and show you, and then you tell me. I think that I would like, if I was using sideboards, you can have a 15-card sideboard with Wyvern. I didn't even know that until I saw it online, like a year ago, and I noticed it. I think this scout would go in my sideboard because of the gold cost. There's really no reason to run a 2 gold cost scout unless your opponent is playing terrain cards. I guess I should bring that a little closer, make it easier to read. But Moghur is one of the best scouts in the game, but he's only good if your opponent has terrains, and you take out a terrain because then you can attack again, and that makes him quite deadly. I had an opponent take out 2 of my terrains on 1 turn. I was like, oh God, that thing's nasty. So it can be quite devastating. But if they're not running a lot of terrains, this is just a 2 gold cost scout, which is terrible. This scout would be 0 gold if it weren't for that ability. So he's in here for now. But I think if I was using a sideboard, I would take him out and see if there's another scout I could replace him with. Then the other scouts are simply here because they're scouts. So Kioh Lung, decent card, nothing great, but he is flying, and flying really helps since you can attack in the back row. Delphyne is one of my favorite scouts. I use her in almost every deck. This guy's just okay. You know, it's, I don't even know how you pronounce that. Tatsu, I guess. Decent little guy that can put a counter, a -1 counter. It's not important, though. It's just a scout. And this one, of course, is free, not a flyer. Mo'o gets you a gold, but you have to pay a gold, so it's only beneficial if you hit 2 terrains. So he's not that great of a scout, really. But scouts are what this deck is all about. Kioh Lung, not a bad card. Not a bad card at all. He loses a battle, you get a card. So that's good. Dragonfly is kind of a neat dragon. I always guess dragon, because if I guess wrong, yeah, I have to pay 2 gold, but I destroyed your terrain. If I guess right, he might die. I might not die, but I get 2 gold. So I usually just guess dragon, unless I really think it's a terrain. Amphiptere is great, 0 cost, flying scout. And Ri-Riu is okay. The super flyer once in a while matters, but not really. But the reason you want to play scouts in this game is, 1, you can attack fearlessly, because if it's a dragon, you're draining their gold. And if it's a terrain, you destroy the terrain. And if you can fight with your 0-strength scouts become very formidable. I tend to think scouts might be the best deck, but there are other decks. There's blue. The great blue dragon is an insane card. Iowa is great. Draco is great. Basilisk, but Basilisk is in this deck. And there's some other ones. Now, the non-scouts in this deck, and again, there's only 20 cards in the Dragon Lair. Lambton Wurm goes in every deck. You're crazy if you don't put it in. You should have that in every single deck because of its ability. You can actually get a battle position back. Okay. He can lose a battle without dying. I don't put him in every deck, but he's in most, simply because he can lose a battle without dying. And while he's not a scout, this deck is designed for little dragons to fight with. Green is in here because if I run into a problem dragon, I can have green go die. Actually, I can have him lose the battle and not die. There's plenty of survival in this deck. And then that dragon loses all of its abilities and it's no longer a problem. Like blue, for instance. Just have this thing attack blue if you can. Basilisk, of course, takes out any dragon and kills itself. So again, if there's a really difficult dragon, you want to hit it with Basilisk. Now, you can't get the back row with either of these guys, but because they don't have flying. And I was thinking about how does one stop Basilisk? Well, you can intercept it, and then Basilisk kills the interceptor and kills itself. You can also use Firefly and redirect the attack, which would screw Basilisk. So there are ways to deal with Basilisk, but not many. There's very few. I put him in every single deck, too. I don't see why you wouldn't. And then the gold generation, of course, is Mixcoatl. And I'm going to go with 4 fields of gold. This generates tons and tons of gold with the card Gold Dig, which I'll show you soon. And then 1 stream, just because it drains them of gold. I don't want to go more than 20 cards because I want to get to the cards that I need. So if I need Basilisk, I can swap into it. But I usually am not going to be swapping. I'm usually going to be attacking with my scouts. And I want to maximize that performance since I don't swap much at all. I only swap for gold, pretty much. That's the only reason I'm going to swap, because I've got Fields of Gold or Mixcoatl, and I want that. So, the Treasure Hoard. 1 copy of Prometheus. I don't know if I'm allowed to play more than 1. If somebody would like to tell me. I don't know if this was considered, if it was made unique. This card was made unique. You're only allowed 1 copy because it was too problematic. And I agree with them about that. I don't know about Prometheus. But I'm only going to run 1 anyway because 1 is really all you need. It's a nice troubling card that can really hurt your opponent. Volcanic Eruption, just to get back that 1 card that you want. So, focus. There we go. I'm only going to run 2 Meteor Showers. I could run 4, but I don't necessarily want my opponent drawing 5 cards. But it's still a great card, so I'm going to run 2. So that's 4. There's basically 12 groups of 4 cards plus 2 more cards. So that would be your 50-card deck. So this is 4 right here, 2, 1, and 1. And then there's going to be the extra 2 are these, Sorcerer. I'm running 2 Sorcerers. I could run 4. Sorcerer counters Magnetic Field, but Sorcerer is not as good as Magnetic Field. It doesn't give you an extra magnetic field against their magnetic field, but a lot of times this card won't do anything. So you don't really want to run 4. At least I don't think you should run 4. And then, of course, 4 Gold Digs for the gold, because I never want to run out of gold. I want to make sure that gold is not a problem. Okay, the other cards, 4 of everything. Magnetic Field, best card in the game, no question, counters all of these purple cards. And the only cards in this deck that aren't purple are treasures. So it counters everything. It does cost 2 gold. This says 1. It was deemed too powerful. They raised the cost to 2. It's still considered the best card in the game. Not running Medea's spell. I am running Power Switch. Power Switch is great when you're running 0 dragons because you switch base strengths. I don't know if does this one say base strength? That switch strength numbers. No, it does not say it. It does switch base strength. For those of you who play Wyvern, if you don't know, the updated rule, Power Switch switches base strength. Medea's spell makes the base strength 0. Okay. 4 Poison Chalice, because if I attack and I'm losing because my dragon is 0, now I'm winning. And the thing about this card is if they attack me with their scout and hit my scout, it's 0 to 0. I can't play this because it says the side with the lowest strength wins the battle. Well, in a tie goes to the attacker. So that's the one time they can get me. Then for the card draw, since I'm only running 2 Meteor Showers, I might just run 3 Apollos and 4 Whirlpools, in which case I might add another card like Kiss of Lasukub or something like that. The reason being, you always can play this card, Whirlpool. You can only play this one in battle. So if your opponent is swapping out or you want to swap out for some reason, this card isn't going to do anything for you. It's not going to draw. So maybe I just run 3 of these for the draw 2. By the way, these were free originally. They really didn't play test it well enough when they worked on this stuff. You know, it's things happen. Anyway, I want to keep my guys alive. And the best way to keep your guys alive is 4 Fountains of Youth, 4 Golden Apples. So now they lose the battle, but they don't die. And 4 Knights to cancel the battle. Yeah, I'd probably run a Flag of Truce. Maybe 1 Flag of Truce. And 3 Apollos might be the way. And then for battling, since I'm running my 0 strength dragons, 4 Crickets and 4 Minotaurs. This is +3 and +4. These are effective strength modifiers. They're really, this is another, gives me 8 cards that I can fight with without spending much gold at all. The other option I could go with is the Interceptor Ape, which is a 2 strength interceptor, which these cards would then work for as well. So I could do that. I might actually put 2 apes in here and take out 1 or 2 Apollos or something else. I'm not really sure. So those are my options for fighting. So if you think about that, even if they're attacking me, whether I'm attacking them or they're attacking me, I've got 8 cards that greatly buff this card for very cheap. I have 8 cards that he loses the battle but doesn't die, and 4 cards that cancel the battle. Power Switch gives me the battle. This is a very, very powerful thing. This is why Scouts are so powerful, because of these cards that make it powerful, that make them powerful. But anyway, that is my other Scout deck, and you can see what you think this one versus the other one. I don't remember what all the differences were. I just had some ideas. Actually, I had Ogancho in this deck, and I had, there was another, Lindwurm. And I decided, nah, those cards don't need to be in here. Lindwurm maybe, because if it loses a battle, they have to discard a card at random. Ogancho is only good on defense. And since I want to attack for the most part, there was really no reason to do it. But that's my second Scout deck. And I wanted to videotape games, but it's just really hard. This is on a stand, my camera here. And it just, when you can see, it only covers so far. And if I had it like this, if I could get it propped up like this, then maybe I could lift it up really high. But it was just too awkward to do it. We've played here and there, but I'm still looking for a 4th player. We had one, but it didn't work out, I guess. I don't know. He's too busy or something. It's so hard to find Wyvern players. But anyway, I hope you like the deck, and maybe I'll make a video of another one at some point down the line. We'll see. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.